Alrighty guys, we're going back to some more Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster. Last episode, we got our first two jobs, both the monk and the white mage, as well as our third party member, Ringabel. Ringabel doesn't have any sort of memory, however, he has this book that is not only the book for the game that has your hints and your notes and your encyclopedia and everything else, but also he just has memory loss and doesn't remember who he is except for what's written in the book. And this episode, we're going to go ahead and continue on and see if we can not only get our next job, but also our fourth party member. But before that, if you guys do like this video and this series, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to reach 500 subscribers by August, so it'll really help me out, and it'll help make sure you don't miss any upcoming videos. So, first thing we're going to do, it's been a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and come into here, and we've unlocked a new area that we carved out between episodes. Let's see, we have this special move shop. Could I get that done this episode? Just barely, but I can, so we'll go ahead and throw everybody on that special move shop there. And then I just want to take a second and read through some of this enigmatic writing. I don't know what today's day is. I don't think it really matters, but we will read through that. I just want to make sure. I don't really need the notes or the encyclopedia, so I think it is just the enigmatic writing. So, 9:20. The steel airlock door creaked shut behind me. Footsteps investigating the noise drew close for a moment, but soon faded. I lowered myself into bed with a sigh. 9:26. I hurried for the capital as the sun dipped below the Norende Plateau. My steps are unnervingly light without my armor, and these clothes hang oddly on me. Most of all, I feel naked without a weapon. I didn't realize there was more pages here. So we'll go back up. My right hand unconsciously drifted to the back of my head. There beneath my pillow, it fell upon a picture frame. Within it, a disheveled room full of scrap iron, oil stains, and a single beautiful flower. Edea. My beloved Edea. A pine for the chance to see a smile unfurl across your face, set in equal parts courageous fire and innocence. I long to hear your voice, sweet like a spring breeze. Let it speak my name, and I shall die a happy man. I could hear the nervous shuffling outside my door of someone afraid to disturb me. Not afraid enough, it seems. I returned the photo to its hiding place and answered without bothering to conceal my irritation. I'm awake. What is it? I skimmed the manual I'd been given, then tossed it on the bed. I returned to Edea's smile, perfectly preserved within the picture frame. The Escalot. My lips formed the word time and again as I watched the new ship in tow from my cabin porthole. 9:26. I hurried for the capital as the sun dipped below the Norende Plateau. My steps are unnervingly light without my armor, and these clothes hang oddly on me. Most of all, I feel naked without a weapon. I was greeted at the city's edge by the sound of a whistle marking the arrival of a merchant ship. Between the merchants and the wholesalers, the dock workers unloading the crates, the tired crewmen, and the eager children excited by the exotic wares, the port was buzzing with people. As I pushed my way upstream through the crowd and along the avenue toward the palace, I spotted a splendid building, its roof a rich navy. This must be the inn the old fisherman described. Inside, I found a man with a gentle mien, sitting behind a well-polished counter. I asked after any vacancies, but he replied with a chagrined, "Sorry, we're all full up tonight." It feels quiet for a full inn, but I don't suppose I can blame him. A walk-in customer at this hour, clearly not a local, no one to vouch for me. Any respectable innkeeper would offer some version of the same excuse. When I inquired about a place to eat, he said down by the port there should be a cheap pub catering to sailors that's open until morning. Lovely. Back down I go. At the hill's bottom, I ate my fill at a food cart aimed at drunken sailors. Now it's back up to the inn. I refuse to spend the night kept awake by carousing seamen. I let myself into the empty house next door to the inn. I'll just have to sleep lightly. 9:27. I was awakened by the sound of a sword practice, shouts of exertion, and the pleasant smell of toast. One of the king's guard, perhaps. He's about my age and reasonably skilled. I lay in my makeshift bed, lazily counting his swings. "Hurry up, Owen. You'll be late." On hearing the innkeep's words, the youth replied and made his way down from the misty hilltop and into the inn. The scent of breakfast coming from next door has me drooling. One bite of my rock-hard bread brought me back to reality. The bacon burnt coal black, and the murky, bitter coffee made me wish it hadn't. I suppose I can expect no more from a shabby stand in the port. After choking down my fill, I climbed the hill towards the palace. Supplied by a series of lush waterways, Caldizla was once a formidable city fortress. These days, its hooked central avenue is lined with a magic shop, general store, armory, and other businesses. A large gate stands as a vestige of that era. though now it serves mostly as a site for the town bulletin board. This year's boar hunt is set to begin once the final slot is filled. Weapons provided by the hunting committee. A boar hunt, with the duchy attacking? I was speechless. As I made to leave, I felt someone grasp my shoulder. Fellas, this'll join the hunt. We ride today. I turned, shocked, and irritation laid bare, only to find Owen, the young man I had seen practicing in the fog that morning. My initial protests were drowned in a rising cheer, and the smith handed me a broadsword and buckler. I dumbly accepted. Potions from the town chemist followed. Between their expectant smiles and Owen's grin, I found myself unable to say no. On the road, I was told a litany of facts I cared nothing about. The search for food to fatten up before hibernating apparently drives the giant boars to local farms, where they raid crops and injure workers. As a result, the city gathers volunteers each year to hunt them. As captain of the guard, I discover, responsibility for overseeing the hunt falls upon Owen. The armorer was slated to participate, but a leg injury has set him on crutches. Owen says he was searching for a replacement when he found a promising candidate during his morning practice. Lucky him. We walked a full, tiring day stalking our prey. First, the trader gave out. Then chatter dried up between the two young castle guards. Sunset found us upriver from the city, at this entrance to the Norend Canyon. Just as we decided to make camp, a rustling came from the thickets behind us. The boar that leapt out was indeed a giant, a vicious, one-tusked monster that had survived the last year's hunt. In a flash, it gored one of the guards, then the other, leaving only Owen, me, and the trader. The boar stamped the ground, preparing to charge the old man, now paralyzed with fear. I expect we'd all given up hope for the kindly old merchant when the beast suddenly changed course. With only seconds to react, Owen landed a mighty blow, felling the monster in a single strike. I set upon treating the young guard's injuries. The trader, clearly still worked up, narrated Owen's victory to the two boys. With every reverent word, I felt as though I was being derided as useless. The others took to sleep, while I sat watch to keep the fire going. Owen rose and came to sit beside me. Thanks for before. I kept silent, but he pressed on. The boar only changed targets because you circled behind me and channeled your energy at it. It's thanks to you we're not carting home a corpse. He sat waiting, apparently bent on receiving a response. His grin is infectious. I took the surest course of action, I replied as I held aloft my broadsword. I had my doubts this blade was up to the task. Weapon's edge was chipped in places, its length bent. With a gentle shake, the pommel gave an unsettling rattle. Owen burst into laughter at the noise. Apparently my response passed muster. He continued, his grin never flagging. Starting tomorrow, you'll stay at my place. I'll give word to my father to open a room for you. I was dragged on this hunt, but if it earns me a real breakfast, it's a bargain I'd take gladly. 9:28. The innkeeper's voice and the smell of coffee being laid on the table roused me from my thoughts. From Antrim, yeah? Be wanting extra sugar then. Politely declining, I took a sip. Quality beans roasted to perfection. Exquisite. After the hunt, we'd carried the wounded back to town. We tied the boar to a high tree branch. Owen said the townspeople would come for it later. After seeing to the boy's treatment, Owen invited me to his home, the inn. Savior was the title he used when introducing me to his father. I was mortified. I was on a journey of personal discovery. Originally came from Ankem. They bought my arbitrary lies without hesitation. They welcomed me. That evening, we dined early and well. The boar had been carted back to the table, and our share of the meat filled a table. Once Owen returned from the palace, we sat down to feast. The innkeeper is a brilliant cook, and we ate, drank, and reveled into the night. Come by the palace tomorrow. I want you to meet the king. He repeated himself time and again, words slurred from the wine, despite me pretending to be asleep. 10:3. I've been in Caldizla. I can't say that word. I've been in Caldizla a week, with no sign of the smoke signal. I joined Owen in his training some mornings, walk the city streets, chat with the elderly, drink with the sailors at the docks, arm wrestle the drunks. Mostly, I just pass the time. Today was another peaceful afternoon, the same as any other. Owen was at the palace since morning. I was enjoying a cup of the innkeep's coffee. It happened in an instant. I felt as if someone was set to plunge a knife into my back. I turned and saw a window. Through it, the northern sky was on fire in a flash of pure white. Moments later, the inn shook. An earthquake? Shockwave? All of Caldizla trembled. The innkeep moaned about a set of heirloom teacups breaking. I had my doubts that teacups would be the worst of the damage. Outside, I spied some injured people, but the city and palace stood unharmed. Another flash lit the sky to the northwest, close. The Norende Heights, perhaps. 10:04. It wasn't until the following morning that Owen came home. By the time he finished muttering about his morning training, he was snoring. A knock at his door put an end to that brief rest that afternoon. The river's jammed with rubble. After receiving the scout's report, Owen wolfed down the late breakfast his father had readied, then turned to me. Sounds like I may need a hand later. I nodded, eyes fixed on the northwestern sky. The bridge across the Kaldisla River has laid in ruins since the duchy felled it. Now, a flotilla of further rubble and countless corpses approach from upstream. Upstream means the Norend Canyon, and the village of Norend at its center. I suppose that's our epicenter. Owen and I split up and joined the others searching for victims. Owen's team searched the river's mouth, while I gathered men from town to search further upstream. I have a long sword at my side, a new one this time, in good condition. Seems the smithy's been busy. The armorer, the old trader, and the dockhand joined me on the shadowy path through the canyon. A few paces in, the armorer spotted something floating by, a young man, floating face up and snagged on the rocks. We ran to his side. He's breathing, the boy's alive. While the others rejoiced, I was more concerned with the ominous shadows surrounding us. Goblins? What are monsters doing here? There ought to not be monsters so close to human settlement, not in these numbers. The townspeople were clearly overwhelmed. No doubt this was their first such encounter. I hesitated, unsure for a moment, but no, I had to take action. When I give the signal, hoist this boy out and sprint for the canyon's mouth. Is that clear? A nod returned from each of them. Sudden movement would distract the creatures for a moment. I hoped that was all I needed. Now go! Thankfully, both merchants escaped, as well as the dockhand with the unconscious boy across his shoulders. Left alone, I faced a quickly closing circle of enemies. So be it, I thought. Come closer then. A bit more. A deep growl emerged from my chest. Black Bane! When I emerged from the canyon on shaky legs, I was greeted by 3 anxious faces. It was this fellow that saved me, I said, holding aloft the badly worn longsword. A huge, proud grin threatened to split the armorer's cheeks. We hurried the boy back to town. I carried him to the inn. I need spirits and all the bandages you've got, and Gramps, all the potions you've got too. I laid him in a bed by the window, stripped him down, and had a look at his wounds. Thankfully, they were light, though he still showed no signs of stirring. Owen's group returned soon after. A few of his men wounded, they'd run into monsters as well. Leaving men to guard the gates, he made for the palace to report and formulate a plan. When he came by to deliver the medicine, the old trader remarked that the boy's clothing bore a Norend pattern. 3 days, the boy has stayed at the inn, and still no sign of waking. The innkeeper says he's run a fever the entire time. This afternoon is a warm one. Now I'm watching the innkeeper nod off at the counter. The aftershocks have stopped, and peace is slowly returning to the city. But a shadow lingers over the earth, the sky, and the townspeople's hearts. Glancing through the window, I saw people motioning toward the port. Another merchant ship, I thought, but no. Their shouts were anxious, not excited. I stepped outside, following the gaze of the others in the streets. I saw a merchant vessel drifting into port. But something was wrong. The ship was listing hard, its aft mast broken. I sprinted down the hill. As I ran, I noticed a dark, heavy color spreading through the water from the mouth of the bay inward. I caught snippets as I passed. The sea's begun to rot. Ships can't leave the bay. No fish in the last few days. Few days? Then the change began when the quake hit. The ship listed further. Rescue boats surrounding it. Most of the cargo had been cast overboard. When the boats reached the pier, a parade of passengers and crew emerged, each looking more exhausted than the next. By some miracle, there were no lives lost, though most of the freight followed the ship to the bottom of the bay. The merchants mourned their loss, profits, and the crew their vessel. The seamen had lost their sea, and the passengers were now stranded. Despair ran rampant, except for one young girl. She was full of questions about the quake 4 days prior, about the flash that lit the sky, about Norend. Did you know someone in the village family, perhaps? Her jaw set at my query. Was it anger? Fear? She wordlessly shook her head from side to side. No. I just figured hearing you ask about the quake as so soon after weathering the sea, I thought maybe you were a friend of that boy's. Boy? What boy? Came her reply. Suspicious played on her face. But as the next boat reached the pier, we were shooed out of the harbor. Another visitor from Ankham, huh? You must be tired. Why don't you stay with us till you're settled? I recall a different sort of greeting. I cast a sour smile his way, and he responded with a grin. We have a sick one in the back. I hope you won't mind. The girl replied with a nod. Her name, I learned, was Agnès. She seemed guarded about her past, not that I can talk. Conversation continues to be awkward. She shows interest in what was happening in this country. When the quake hit, for my part, I ask her about the sea. Her ship had left before the earthquake struck. She says about halfway between Ankem and Kaldisla, their pace began to slow. The seawater clouded, and dead fish began to float to the surface. First small ones, then larger. As they neared the port, the wind died. It was pure luck the ship drifted in before being calm. Other vessels they passed into the bay, she reported, were less fortunate. She listened as I recounted what happened in the canyon, the color draining from her face. I told her the village was likely at the quake's epicenter, and that monsters had flooded the area in its wake. We talked late into the night. You can see there, the person that she was talking to. Because they have the portrait of him. And from here forward, it looks like it is just going forward in time, because we haven't reached this point yet. However, we'll go ahead and quickly read this. That is D, though. That is the person that we see right there at the end. It's actually going to be easier to go this way. That is D right there, the knight on that left side. An urgent 1025. An urgent wire from Kaldisla came during the night. Sky Knights routed. The Vestal and crew commandeered the SK ship with Edea in tow. 1113. The Floor Chem Inner Sea remains unsullied and serves now as a holding palace for ships from neighboring waters as well. I walked to the port asking after the Vestal's whereabouts, or those of the ships she stole at least, but was unable to uncover anything useful. My continued search brings me to Ankem's proper. The ship's almanac has this to say of it. A clockwork metropolis nestled in Harina's sandy bosom. Here time above all is sacred. A massive timepiece crowns the kingdom, fueled as all of Ankem by the ceaseless currents originating from the Temple of Wind to the south. I crossed the desert and arrived at the city's edge. It seems these ceaseless winds have ceased in the chasm's wake. Deprived of a precious power source, Ankem's people now suffer under forced manual labor. Those I met were too tired and apathetic to answer my questions. One man, perhaps motivated by the coin I flash, blushed awkwardly as he stammered this way, "To try the Yolana Woods." I reached out to hand him the money, but he turned and ran without taking it. Very odd. I returned to my almanac. Yolana Woods, the hidden heart of an ancient forest northeast of Ankem. 1123. The air in front of Ankem's royal palace was taut. The Vestal heaped abuse upon the king, then presented something to the agitated masses assembled there. It was a chain bearing an evil sigil. The glassy-eyed mob reached fever pitch. The Vestal pointed south, and the delirious mob turned their eyes to the sky, crying out her name. I moved to approach her, but the zealous crowd was packed tight. Fearing for his life, the king fled to the palace, escorted by his guards. 1208. Good, they haven't come by. I was worried I might run into them here. That would complicate matters. I could do little more than beg her help in the broadest of terms, then it was back to my ship and away again. Though perhaps a bit out of date, the ship's almanac has this to say of Florum. True to the old teachings, Florum's women live in chastity, humility, in coexistence with the spirits of nature. And of the land's people, devout crystallists, they reject war and conflict, instead of choosing lives of peaceful reflection. Sounds like a recipe for carnage if those two heard those words. 131. After 3 weeks of anxious silence, they finally sent word. The Wind Vestal entered the Sacred Flower Festival. What? 307. It's been 4 years since I stood here. The fortress stands grim and imposing as ever. Just what do they aim to do with a sword that large? My guide greeted me respectfully. I suppressed my desire to break his face. Enough. Stop talking. I know about this land and its resources without your yapping. Mithril steel. An exceptionally hard metal refined from locally mined ore. Upwards of 80% of the world's mithril originates in Eisenberg's mines. In rare cases, the same veins have yielded orichalcum. Orichalcum, an extremely precious metal found exclusively in Eisenberg. Its durability is unrivaled, making it ideal for use in weapons and armor. Also notable is the extreme amount of energy released when the metal is melted under high pressure. It's all common knowledge. Does he think we don't have schools? Upon entering, I found the place utterly unchanged. I still have that old memo on Starkfort's status and layouts. We soon arrived at the top floor. Just how long do you intend to chase at my heels? When I barked at the guide, he seemed genuinely confused. A waterfall of sweat poured from him. A guffaw rang out, cutting off any further tirade. The guide scuttled off, and a giant hand came clapping down on my back. 317. Someone please explain to me how I wound up defending this brat? Ah, right, because that fat scum and the weaklings started eagerly talking about torturing the information out of him. Disgusting. I'm not worried about this weakling Astray. I could handle him with my eyes closed. But the drugs the fat one cooks up, the poisons especially, could ruin the child's body. And so we stood there, staring each other down for a full half hour. It wasn't for another 30 minutes that old man Battleaxe caught wind of the standoff and came to my rescue. Fatty and I were both drenched in sweat by that point. Astray and the brat had passed out. In the end, the child became my responsibility. Astray is still spewing complaints, but it sounds like Fatty was chewed out hard for his hand in this latest stunt. Seems the kid is grateful for having been spared, even by someone like me. He started to open up a bit. He's 8 years old and lost both parents to the war. His grandfather took him in until disease claimed him as well. Textbook orphan story. He was rounded up with the other orphans and put to forced labor. Between ditching work and saying strange things, he drew the guards' attention, and that landed him here. My efforts have earned me an unruly roommate. When he's asleep, he's no different than any other kid. I thought to turn in for the night as well, but the words he mumbled in his sleep as I put out the light stopped me cold. 3:19. He begged me to bring him with me. In the end, I caved. He pulled a lever in the rock or some such, and a tunnel into the magma caverns opened up. I never felt such heat. Between the steep, narrow path, this blasted heat, and having a brat in tow, my progress was miserably slow. During one of our short breaks, I was taken unaware by one of Edea's tirades. Distracted or not, careful to watch my back or not, I had allowed the enemy to draw near without so much as realizing it. Absolutely mortifying. Let the boy go. I wasn't about to risk combat with the brat at my side. Even I have my limits. He was nearly passed out from exhaustion. I laid him behind the rocks and stepped forward. I saw no other choice but to fight. In the short while since I'd last seen them, the Vestal, Tiz, and Edea's faces had grown older, stronger. Their teamwork isn't half bad either. I busied myself with the Vestal while thinking on how to best drive back Edea without harming her. Stay back, don't come here. All I could do as I saw the boy stumbling closer was shout. Cavern shook and the ground beneath him gave way. Tiz was the first to react. Hang in there, we'll get you up. Let go, we'll both fall. Agnès, leave me, go. Unacceptable. My grip, it's slipping. I acted without thinking, clutching Edea to me and pulling her to safety. Magma roared past beneath me. We stood there wordless until we caught our breath. Thank you, Edea began. I suppose I owe you for that. I reflexively jumped back. Edea stood there. Ize no Kami held drawn and ready. Some thanks. Agnès shielded the boy while Tiz came to join Edea. As the sound of her swing cut the air, the ground beneath me crumbled once more. I saw the look of shock on Edea's face as if time were standing still. I slowly fell towards the magma below, joined by a shower of falling rocks. My vision went red. 4:24. I'm alive, somehow. When I woke, my body refused to respond. I think I was lying down. My eyelids felt as though they were glued shut. A familiar voice grated in my ear. Of course he'll recover. Just whom do you think you are addressing him? If I've orders to fix him, I'll see he's fixed. As much as I may enjoy his current state, he'll live. I'll be sure he suffers for having humiliated me. The days that followed were hell. His breath reeked as he spoke. Ah, does it hurt? I just gave you the most painful drug I know, and here you can't move a muscle to stop me. Such a shame, isn't it? Someday, I will carve this pig apart, so help me. I woke to a familiar engine noise and the smell of oil, but sleep soon found me once more. When I next woke, I was floating in some kind of liquid. I could feel it bitter in my nose, stinging my nose and filling my lungs. I thought I was drowning and tried to struggle, but my body still refused to obey. I quickly slipped back into the darkness. A cold, unpleasant voice woke me. A nasty bit of work, this. Torture, under the guise of treatment. It was wise to transport him here when we did. A few days more, and well, worry not. I'll have him back good as he was. You have my guarantee. Voice next turned to me. And how are we feeling? My eyes opened, stung by the light and medicated fluid. Today is the 24th. Been out a month and a week. But worry not. None of your correspondence seems especially pressing, see? He held a slip of paper up to the tank. Bring the orphan to the Inn of Origin, it read. What does it mean, he asked. Is it code? I can't make sense of it. Made a little sense to me, too, but I felt relief at knowing the boy was all right. That wasn't your only inscrutable message. I drifted in and out as he read more, catching only snippets. Earth, crystal, grand ship, engine room. Some days, weeks later, the liquid was drained from the tank, and I was left to stave off gravity with atrophied legs. Buck up. You'll be back to your old self given a week. I made well sure of that. With that final dismissive comment, he turned and left. I was moved to a civilian hospital to recover. I trained back up to full stamina in 6 days, mostly out of spite. No trace remained of the burns I assume covered my body, and he'd reversed any effects of whatever that pig had injected me with while he was at it. It galls me to say, but the man does good work. 6/16. How many days have passed since I left his side? Pillar of Light has stood above the southern sea for some time now, just as he predicted. That leaves little room to doubt his second prediction will hold true. In the coming days, the Vestal and their friends will come here. I only pray I have the strength to stop them as I was asked to. Thinking back, the Vestal's followers have been with her from the start, ever since Caldizela. Agnès oblige, Vestal to the Wind Crystal. I never imagined the young girl I met on that pier would bear such a fate. And 'tis Arior, for the boy I pulled from that canyon river to become a guard and ally to the Vestal on her journey. Seems on so many counts, I bear the fault for all of this. A long, harsh journey to erase the great chasm. A Vestal who crossed the putrid sea and stagnant air to arrive. A boy whose home was swallowed. In retrospect, they seem a natural pair, inevitable even. And Edea, I expect you too will join the Vestal here. You were ever a tomboy, capricious, pure and stubborn, quick to tears, perfect. I know not what it is to see in the Vestal, what spark resonated within you, but I swear this now, I will keep you safe at any cost. I always longed for a family. I will not see it destroyed. The ship's siren had begun to sound, and the pilots taking her up just as planned. The time has come then. This may be the last entry I am able to write. I'm removing Edea's picture from its frame and placing it within these pages. I want her by my side. Six. Or D, perhaps? And that's all the writing. That is the entire story of D's journal, clearly depicting the events that already happened. However, our friend Ringabel here was not mentioned at all. So either that's Ringabel, or in my current theory that I have, Ringabel's that boy that they were talking about. But I'm sure we'll find out all that later. For now, let's finally move on and continue with the game. Ruins of Centro Keep.
Do you mean to put the city to flames again, Black Mage? I'll say it now. Your methods are wrong.
Wrong? Wrong? I don't recall asking your opinion on the matter. First Holly, and now Yo. Why are women also condescending? Shut up and take orders! Just because your father's Grand Marshal doesn't give you license for insubordination!
I've seen more than enough to know this much. You are undeserving of my trust and my loyalty. If you insist on pursuing this coward's agenda, I swear upon my name that I will stop you.
Her voice. I heard her voice. So this is what an angel sounds like.
Your ears must be better than mine.
Encounter ranked. Give me more enemies to fight, or give me a break to explore without so much fighting. These are the moments when you should adjust the encounter rate. A comfortable control over encounters. A higher value will lead to more enemy encounters, and a lower, fewer. There's even an item that will eliminate all enemy encounters, and another that unlocks a great encounter chance. I don't know if this is new to the game, however, from what I've seen, I believe this is brand new. Basically, you can choose if you want to grind or if you want to avoid encounters. Very, very useful for later. However, I'm going to keep it at 100 for now, simply because I don't know. I want to hit at least level 7, which is the level for this zone. So let's start running around. Looks like levers are here. I should have... didn't realize that at first when I thought it was an item or something that was hidden there. One thing about these games you'll notice is you can't actually rotate the camera. The camera is in a fixed position. Not really a bad thing, just something to get used to. We'll go ahead and roll Brave with both of them, and then use Examine with our third guy here. I will be really good at names once I've played with them enough. Tiz, Agnès, and Ringabel. Go ahead and Brave one more time for them. And they both can go all out here. We'll have Tiz just attack an orc. And then we'll have Agnès probably just attack as well. Just because I don't really need the heals right now. And then Ringabel, let's go ahead and default. And I'm actually curious. Let me slow down. I want to see... You can see it doesn't really do too much damage, but I'm attacking twice every time. That's just because we don't have a fist weapon on him right now. He's basically going at it bare-fisted, which just isn't going to do too much damage. See if we can drop this orc, because he's building up his BP right now. There we go. You can see Ringabel does a ton, though. Oh, he defaulted too. Okay. Let me try my strong strike, because it says there's a chance it misses. If we go all out, then I gotta hit at least one of them, right? Yep, there it is. 21 to 38 damage. That's a good amount. Still only 2 JP, though. Not getting any more in this location. Interesting. Also not getting any additional XP. It's still just 12 XP. That's kind of insane. I guess we'll have to go back here. I'm assuming I can open this. No, but there are stairs to get me a little bit higher. Another new enemy here. Go ahead and just default, and examine the Kate Sith. 60 HP on the Kate Sith, weak to water, I think that is. You can see the enemies are starting to deal a lot more damage now, now that we've officially unlocked some of the jobs. Let's try to strong strike this orc and try to drop him right here. And then for Agnès, unfortunately Agnès, when she's not healing, is gonna... I don't want to say she's gonna be useless, but she's just not gonna be able to do as much as all the other characters, at least for the time being, until we get the air, or the arrow spell. One miss. There's a hit. There's another miss. Wow, 3 misses, huh? I do need to start healing, but that can wait just a little bit longer. Yeah, we'll just go all out here. How much HP does this orc have? 19. Yeah, we'll just go all out. We should be able to finish him off. Unless he defaults, then we might... Okay, there we go. And you'll see here, we're going to go ahead and do the heal all spell, which is just by pressing start. You go through about, 10 MP, so it's really not a lot just to get a free heal. And if you need to, you can always throw the white magic on a different character in order to have them cast the heal instead. Okay, so there's a chest over there to the left. I'm going to go down here first. Allies get +1 BP. Great. Just go ahead and default. I wonder if the shield is the reason he's not doing a ton of damage. I don't think so, but it very well could be the case. See who acts first. Okay, she acts first. That's good. I need to hit 2 of these. That's 1. Come on, I need you to hit 1 more. Oh my gosh. You can see it's kind of a, like, You're taking a big chance with Strong Strike, but if you do land it, you're doing a good amount of damage. Miss. 15, there we go. I'm curious. Let me take this buckler off. I feel like that's... Let's try it. Let's take the buckler off and see if we do any more damage on the next fight. Go ahead and flip this switch, which will open up that door. Because I feel like in the second game, there's a similar thing where if you have a shield equipped, you don't actually get the benefits of unarmed combat. There's silver glasses. Let's see what those are. But I'm assuming it raises MP probably. Nullifies blind. Sure, we'll give that to you. See, like right here, I could just give him a buckler. Can I optimize this? Yeah, you can just have a buckler. And it doesn't impede his shield. So, we get into one fight. See what happens here. Oh, well, that's a new enemy type. Let's go ahead and just do a single attack. See how this changes. Unfortunately, it's an orc leader, so... we'll just examine. 100 HP, weak to fire. Human. 78 damage. Okay, so that definitely hit twice. So that's definitely the case where I want to make sure he doesn't have a shield equipped. It's going to make him take a little bit more damage, but overall it's going to be better. Ooh. Let's go all out here. You, Agnès, need to cast Poison on yourself to cure the poison. And then we'll have you go all out. This should get rid of him. Oh, I shouldn't have cast Poison. Yep. You can see now I'm doing insane amounts of damage with just punches. That was 70 damage on a crit. Let's go ahead and do a full heal here. I forgot she has self-heal, so that's why I don't want to heal her. She'll heal after a battle. Heal the poison condition after battle. Another Phoenix down. I wish I'd find weapons. Like gauntlets for me to use. 3 enemies, huh? It sucks because I'm going to do this. But I don't think I can just immediately kill them all. I'm going to try. They all braved. Okay, good. Really solid spreading out damage there. Let's see. No, he's going to barely leave. Oh my gosh, we did it. That is a 4 JP. That is definitely the way to go right now. Grind those little pig enemies, the orcs. Oh yeah, that's super solid. And just go all out from the beginning. Even 3 orcs I was able to take on. Echo herbs. So like this should be no problem because his actually might be able to get rid of them all by himself. Oh, whoops. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Tiz right now can kill every enemy on the screen, as long as it's only 2. Which means it's going to make grinding up to level 7 way easier. A wake up bell, which will wake you up. Just need to be careful not to get too close to that final zone, so that way we do have time to grind and level up a little bit. Again, this is the one case that I'm a little bit worried. I think if I do it the same as I just did, though, I think I'll be fine. Why did he act first? I have no clue. Oh, I needed a crit there. Yeah, I'm not going to get it. Just unfortunate RNG on that one. Ooh, I was worried that was a loss fully. Still 3 JP though, and 18 XP is not bad. One more level and Tis will be at level 7, which is good. Let's see if I can get all their jobs to level 2 though. It doesn't matter as much for on Yes, because we don't have any more spells. But it does matter for Tis. Also, unfortunately, it doesn't matter too much for our other party member there. Ringabel just because we know what level 2 Freelancer is. Something that is super recommended is to get to level 3 Freelancer as soon as possible. Mage Masher, a sword. Can I even use that? It'll go on Ringabel if I can. Oh, it's a dagger. Sure, I'll throw that on. I might grind for it just before we continue. Actually, it's right here. I might as well just grind. Oh, that's going to be a long grind to get Freelancer to level 3, but I think it'll be worth it. So, what are we at? What are we looking at? How much does... Okay, so Tiss is really close on his Freelancer job. So I think I'll actually switch him back. I know, it sucks because now he doesn't really have a weapon. Go to equip. Put a spear on him. Doesn't have a buckler either, but I think we're going to be fine. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to grind up to get Freelancer to level 3, just because this is a really good spot to do it, and we want to do it as soon as possible. So, I'm going to just do, just so you guys see what I'm going to be doing. Go here. Ooh, we have an update at my town as well. I didn't think that was ready yet. We get Infinity and Rejuvenation special moves. Interesting. Okay, that's an hour. A lot of hours. I would love to do Blackwater Fen. Oh, that's hours, not minutes. Okay, never mind. We'll go ahead and do the armor shop, just because I don't think we're going to be able to see one this episode anyway, so we'll just turn that on and let it roll. So, I'm going to go ahead and turn this up to 200% encounter rate. And it's just going to happen so fast. So, I'm going to go ahead and grind through this. And when a level up happens, or when a job level happens, I will make sure to show it off to you guys. Right here, we should have a level up for Ringabel there. He's now up to level 6. And in one more fight, we should have our jobs leveled up. And just like that, our White Mage and Freelancer on Ringabel and Agnès respectively are now level 2. You learned the Magic Defense 10% up support ability. Ringabel gained a up level. Learn Treat, and we get some eye drops. I'll show that off once we've got our Freelancer job to level 3. And with that, Agnès also gains the level. I honestly wasn't expecting Agnès to gain the level before my Freelancer hit level 3, but at this rate, Ringabel actually might hit level 7 before Freelancer hits level 3. It's only going to take like 3 more fights though, so we'll see. Also just learned something really fun that I'll show off in this fight. If you just hold right bumper and A down, it's not perfect, but you can usually just like destroy enemies like this. I also think, what is it? Up, but then you can... A, I think, lets you... Or up. I don't know quite what up does, but you can hold it and you can basically issue your commands much quicker there. Only I'm one fight short. That's totally fine. And at this point, we might as well get Ringabel up to level 7 as well. Oh, he is almost defeated. That's not good. Wasn't actually... apparently, sometimes the Orc leaders just go before you. It's very rare that it does. It's only happened like twice during this. But we still do get our Freelancer. Tiz gained a level. Oh, he's level 8 and got Freelancer up. You learned the Divining Rod support ability. And I will show Divining Rod, but first, let me just go ahead and do a full heal. And I do want to change his job real quick. So let's go ahead and change it back to Monk. It sucks because he is behind the curve now because we've been grinding the other jobs. But let's go ahead and take his spear off. I guess you can just optimize. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Great, so it would have automatically taken the shield off anyways. Let's run around and get one more encounter here. Perfect. Tiz by himself can take out this Orc leader, so I'm just going to not have them go brave. And there we go. Ringabel levels up as well. Oh, Monk's so close. I just don't want to grind for Monk again. So it took like less than 5 minutes. I think we can check this actually. Yeah, it took 7 minutes because we did that armor shop right before that. Go ahead and change this back down to 100%. And then let's go ahead and look at our abilities. So now we've unlocked our first support ability, which will be Divining Rod right here. what Divining Rod does, it discovers the number of unopened treasure chests in a dungeon. So, go ahead and throw that on. And now, you'll be able to see how many unopened chests are in the dungeon that you're in. So, very, very useful. It is one of the best early skills you can get. We'll also go ahead. I think White Mage, yours is not on yet, which is very interesting. Raises magic defense by 10%, so we'll throw that on. But you can actually see, let's go over to the freelance job. Dungeon Master is another really solid one. This is avoid damage and status elements from tricks, traps, and other dungeon devices. Note that this effect applies to all allies, so just one person having this on makes it so that way you avoid traps in dungeons. There's also, I think, another really good one. Let me see. Yes, so a lot of people will spend really, really early game grinding the freelancer job up because of this skill right here, JP up. You earn 1.2 times the normal amount of job points. It does not stack with similar effects from items. However, if every character has that, they're constantly learning more and more jobs even quicker. Once there's a way to quickly level up your jobs, I'd recommend doing that. I don't recommend doing it early game. I think that's kind of just a waste. And you're going to be getting a ton of jobs here in a second, so there's no real reason to do that. And so you can see in the top right, we actually see how many unopened chests there are. There are 0 unopened chests because we just grabbed them. And we got an achievement for grabbing the support abilities and for getting doused for treasures. Only other one is sniff out hidden passages. Some dungeons hold hidden passages that won't show up on your map. They're hidden after all. One such passage lurks in Ruins of Centro Keep, 3rd floor. Oh. That's a really good thing there. Why did this not proc whenever I rearrange my party? Is it going to work now? Yeah, there we go. So we need to go back up. I'm really glad we did all these missions when we did, because now it'll actually tell me that on the 3rd floor there's a secret. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn this to 50% for a second, because we're just making backwards progress. No real reason to grind right now. We're on the 3rd floor. There is one unopened chest. My guess would be it's like on this wall. Nope. Yeah, we would still have some encounters. But again, Tiz right now with no weapons can just solo every enemy, so yeah. Is it? I'm assuming it's press A, right? Like most secrets are just press A on a wall. Is it going to be right here? Is it going to be behind this chest? Oh. This orc leader is going to screw up my plans. That's the first time I've seen this combo of enemies, actually. There we go. A level up for Tiz. Where is that secret? I would think it's like right here. Interesting. Another one of this combo. Okay, so my only other guess would be over here on the far left, straight down. I don't think I checked, like, right here. No. Okay, so I'm going to look around for a minute then, because unfortunately we're just going to keep getting these enemy encounters as long as I'm moving. And so let me see if I can find the secret passage, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I found it. If you go on this bottom side, it's right here in this bottom right corner. You don't even have to press A. You just have to run into it. Right there we get Iron Knuckles. Oh, that's going to be so good on him. Go ahead and Optimum. Yep. That's going to be solid. That's a two-handed weapon because it's on both of his knuckles. And let's go ahead and update the board. So now, hidden passages. That's every tutorial quest that we can complete right now. There's no new ones, so we'll just continue on. Once I get back down, I'll go ahead and set the encounter rate back to 100. But just while we're running through here, they're not really giving me much XP anymore. So we'll just keep the encounter rate at 50. Yeah, he's doing so much damage now. Well, there's Agnès' level 8. I was just saying how they're not giving me much XP, but wow. At this rate, I should have just kept Ringabel as the freelancer and worked on Tiz's monk. Go ahead and come to the merchant. We'll go ahead and any new equipment you got here? The bronze armor is better. I don't have much money, so I think we'll wait on buying that because I'm not really struggling too much right now. We will go ahead and save. Continue. And let's rest in the tent to heal up. And head on down.
What? You! The Vestal and her little friends. How are you here? Is no one under me competent? Oh, fine. My fire will make ash of the lot of you.
What? Ominous! Our orders are to take the Vestal alive! Besides, if you loosed your spells in here, you'd...
I'll show you. I'll show you all. Fire! 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 No! Ah!
He's attacking his own people.
Madness! This sort of indiscriminate slaughter cannot be allowed! Black Mage, Ominous Crow! I'm at my patience end! This absolutely does it! You've sent me into a full rage!
What? You're turning traitor? You'll make your father a laughingstock!
This has nothing to do with him. All that I hold true denies everything that you are. You there. You'll be helping me.
Who? Us? But we...
Would be delighted to assist you, milady. I'll see you victorious, or my name isn't Ringabel. Well, maybe not my real name, but certainly my... Anyway, what's in a name, really? Don't you agree, Edea?
What? How did you... Enough. Conversation can wait.
Ah, enough! No more! I'll not be made a fool any longer! I'll see you all charred black! I swear it!
And so we have our next fight with the next boss. We're just gonna go ahead and default with everybody. Edea, let's have you actually go ahead and... Actually, we'll just have you default as well. We will go ahead and examine... Ooh, that's not good. You're gonna see now we actually have to start worrying about this kind of stuff. There's nothing we can do about sleep besides use an item, which I don't want to waste right now. I believe once they get hit, they'll wake up from sleep. I was either wrong or he didn't get hit there. Let's go ahead and miscellany to examine Ominous. And then I don't have any attacks right now, so I guess we'll just... actually, I will use an item right here. What is it? Wake Up Bell. Go ahead and use that on Tiz. And then just do 2 more attacks. Ringabel, go all out here. And Edea. I believe that you just have treat and examine, so go all out. Weak to none, and he's a human. As you can see, we're not really doing much damage to him at all. He is a mage, so he doesn't have an insane amount of defense. That was a crit for 125. Oh my gosh. How much HP does he have left? Oh, 14,000. Or 1,400. Got it. Okay. Have everyone default here. Yeah, that's a group fire spell. We're officially getting to the point where we pretty much need to use her almost entirely for healing. Go ahead and throw a wake up bell on Ringabel. I'm at BP3. Do I do... Sure, we'll actually Invigorate. Invigorate raises physical attack for 2 turns, but has a chance to fail. We'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll hit him with normal attacks and hope that it lands. For you, we're going to defend. Ringabel, go ahead and brave or default, and then you, let's go ahead and just go all out on Ominous here, Edea. Did it work? I don't know if that worked or if he just took damage. Yeah, poisoned her. That's not that bad, though, because I can actually... This is where we need to start using all of our heals. So, White Magic, Poison Edea. Then White Magic, Cure. You can cure all allies, which is super solid. I actually don't know how much we're going to cure for, so... Yeah, we'll just do this. We'll find out how much we cure for right here. I want to go normal speed so I can see how much I cure everyone for. Everyone gets healed for 100 HP, so I do not have to use cure more than once. Got it. Default. Go all out, Ringabel. And then default. If we get lucky with Ringabel, he'll actually put mute or silence on him because the Mage Slayer knife will put the silence effect on a enemy. Let's go ahead and just poison yourself. Then default for all of you. He's really liking that fire spell. Okay, let's go ahead and invigorate, and then attack. Yeah, we just need to go ahead and cure everyone again. Default, and then let's go all out with Edea. Let's slow down so I can actually see what invigorate does. Physical attack up. Okay, so if you take damage, it is the failing that invigorate attack. Wow, that was 2 crits. How much HP is he at? 271, so at this point it is worth it. Just go ahead and brave all my attacks here for pretty much everybody. It will leave me open, but I'm pretty sure Tiz just wins right here. If he doesn't, Edea's for sure going to finish it off. And you got this. 1 damage, 2 damage. Good job. Wow, I guess everyone's going. Might not even get back to Tiz. Oh, there it is. And our next boss is defeated. And because he's a black mage, you know what that means. First, everyone gets a level. Edea, you're way behind the curve. And unfortunately, there's not really a way to get above the curve because everyone just always is in the party. You got the Black Mage Asterisk. Black Mage uses attack magic to assault groups of foes. Skilled at Black Magic and favors rods. Not staves, rods. Their specialty is Black Resonance and their job command is Black Magic. Their stats affinity is really high MP and Int with a pretty solid mind. So where the White Mage has a high mind and a pretty solid Int, this is the inverse where it's more used for offensive magic. Their arms aptitudes is rods as an S, and staves and daggers are both C's. However, you pretty much always want to be using the S arms aptitude.
I've done it now. Treason is one of those tricky things to forgive. Still, I've no regrets. My conscience spoke and I followed it. Into the life of a deserter, it seems. I trust there's room in your little band for one more?
Indeed. It was sorely incomplete without you.
Unacceptable!
What bond of trust can exist between a Sky Knight of the Duchy and a Vestal?
So this is the Vestal of Wind. A black-hearted witch, as the tales I was raised on go. But of late, it seems things are rarely cut quite so cleanly. Behaving as the Sky Knights did makes a person wicked. That lot is black as they come. And what other lies have I been told then? The only thing for it is to see for myself. What is black? And what is white? Your actions will tell me the color of your heart, Vestal. And I plan to watch up close. So I suggest you get used to me.
That was... rational?
I'm always rational. That scum crow just had me seeing red before.
Ah, the type whose claws come out when she gets hot-headed. I'll jot down a note not to anger you.
What do you make of them, Tiz? Can these two be trusted?
They don't seem like bad people to me.
Yes, but how a thing seems and how a thing truly is often differs.
Hold a moment, Agnès. My journal offers a curious quote. The Vestal and crew commandeered the SK ship, with Edea in tow.
And what are we to make of that?
That we're about to steal ourselves an airship. One assumes.
Just what is that book of yours?
Up there, isn't that... Speak of the flying devils.
Will they turn their cannons on us?
Not by that course. They make south.
The city? They can't mean to start that up again!
Let's hurry!
And so, Edea joined the party. Looks like we have a new update here. Has it already been an hour? No, received a gift. I was like, there's no way it's been an hour. We also have a party chat. Talk of titles. So, how should I address everyone from here on? Going by the look of it, I'm the youngest one here. Is it best if I stuck to sir and ma'am? Please, just Tiz. And Agnès for me, if you please. Really? Even though you're a Vestal? Shouldn't it be Lady Agnès or something? I would really rather you didn't. Besides, it's best we didn't go around shouting Vestal too loudly. Oh, right. Almost forgot she's a wanted woman. In that case, just Agnès is probably smartest. Thank you. Yes, that's certainly wise, especially considering the volume of our Edea's voice. What's wrong with my voice? You said her voice was gentle as a spring breeze before, Ringabel. Yes, well, spring has a way of giving over to summer. And breezes build. Up close, it's more of a tornado. Don't think I'll finish that thought. Mm-hmm. No, I think I'd like to hear this. Speak up, Ringabel. I've remembered an errand. A very pressing, very distant errand. Hey, you get back here this instant. She sure got on familiar terms with Ringabel pretty quick. And so, guys, with us getting our fourth and final party member and our next job, I think this is a good place to wind things down. In the next episode, I will not only explain both of our two new party members, but also the Black Mage job, and we will move on to try to save the city. I will see you all then.